One of the first questions every new beekeeper asks is how much does it really cost to start beekeeping in South Africa? In this video, I will break down the main cost, what you actually need to begin, and how to avoid wasting money as a beginner. Welcome back to Griebenouw bee farming. This is part of our beginner series on how to start beekeeping in South Africa, and today we are focusing on the financial side so you can plan properly and start with confidence. When starting beekeeping, your startup cost will fall into three main categories: the hive, the bees, the equipment and protective gear. The exact cost depends on your location, the type of hive you choose, and whether you are starting as a hobby or with business goals in mind. Today we are focusing on cost ranges and budgeting, not exact prices, because I'll be doing a separate detailed video breaking down equipment layouts and actual cost for different type of beekeepers. The hive itself is often the biggest upfront cost. In South Africa, the most common option is the Langstroth hive that can start at around R1,000 and rapidly go up in price. You can buy ready-made hives, flat-packed hives, or build your own. Cheaper hives may save you money upfront, but poorly built hives can cause long-term problems like warping, poor ventilation, or difficulty managing bees. This is one area where quality matters, especially if you're planning to keep bees long term. Next, you need bees. Most beginners in South Africa start with either a nucleus colony, also known as a nuke, which can start from 800 per colony, or by catching a swarm, which is free if you have all the needed equipment. Buying a nuke costs more upfront but gives you a strong established colony and a much higher chance of success. Catching a swarm is cheaper, sometimes free, but it requires experience and timing. For beginners, paying for quality bees is often money well spent. You don't need every beekeeping tool you see online. At a minimum, beginners need a protective suit or veil, a hive tool, and a smoker. There are cheap options available, but poorly made suits or smokers can turn beekeeping into a painful experience very quickly. I always recommend buying the best protective gear you can afford, especially when working with African bees. As mentioned earlier, I'll cover exact equipment layouts and cost in a dedicated video for hobby beekeepers, side hustle beekeepers, and small-scale commercial setups. Links are in the video description for easy access. Beekeeping isn't a once-off cost. Ongoing expenses can include sugar for feeding during winter or droughts, replacement equipment, hive management and repairs, fuel and transport if you move hives, and pest control. These costs are usually manageable, but they must be planned for, especially in difficult seasons. One of the biggest beginner mistakes is starting with too many hives. For most people, 1 to 3 hives is ideal. This gives you enough experience to learn, a backup hive if something goes wrong, and manageable costs. Starting small allows you to invest in better quality equipment rather than spreading your budget too thin. Your cost also depends on why you're starting beekeeping. As a hobby, your focus is enjoyment, learning, and maybe some honey for family and friends. As a small-scale business, you need to budget for more hives, extraction equipment, packaging and labels, transport, legal and registration costs. There is nothing wrong with starting as a hobby and growing later. In fact, that's often the smartest approach. Beekeeping doesn't have to be expensive, but it does require smart planning and realistic expectations. If you found this video helpful, like it and share it with someone who's thinking about starting beekeeping in South Africa. In the next video, we will look at choosing the right type of beehive for South African conditions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.